Welcome back to Briggs on Books. It's our 9/11 edition, and I've been watching a lot of newscasts and reliving that day, 9/11. It seems like just yesterday, but I think it's been 23 years. We have a regular guest on our show, Bob Millsap, who has a 9/11 story. I've asked him to come on and share the story. He actually touches on the story in his book, Shake Yourself Free. It's a book that about take control of your life to move through the pain. Let's see if we can do some clicks and get our guest, Bob Millsap, on the screen. There he is. Welcome, Bob.
Hey there.
Yeah.
Great to be back with you.
I was reading your 9/11 story today, and I watched a podcast with Mike Rowe that talked about your story. Amazing and moving story. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it seems like a chance encounter with an old friend might have saved some lives. Tell us the story, Bob.
Yeah, so gosh, it was hard to believe. 23 years ago, I was in the grocery business working for a company called Wild Oats Markets. I was on the East Coast, had been through a few states, and it was an action-packed trip. And I finished early on myself and my coworker Simon. We finished early. We were in Connecticut. Finished early on the 10th, the morning of the 10th.
By the way, did you get to go on a lot of trips like this, or was this kind of a...
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
At that point in time, I was national director of grocery for this company. It was Wild Oats Markets, got eventually bought out by Whole Foods. And so I was on the road every week, and at times I'd see people. It was a good opportunity to see people and go out to dinner with friends and family around the country. And this particular trip, though, was so fast-paced. We had a lot of ground to cover, so I was due to fly out of LaGuardia back to Phoenix on September 11th, midday. So got finished with my work. We got finished early in Westport, Connecticut, and I was texting with my mom, of all people, and my mom texts me, and she's like, you know what you should do, since you've got some time on your hands, you should go to Yankee Stadium tonight. And Roger Clemens is pitching. He's going for his 20th win.
Wow.
Huge Dodger fan. I grew up with season tickets to the Dodgers, and so I'm like, all right, I'm all over it. So Simon and I, we checked out of our hotel early. We hightailed it down to Yankee Stadium. Bought great tickets, and then it started raining.
Oh.
And so and it was raining hard. So Simon and I went into I think it was called Ballpark Lanes. It was a bowling alley bar across the street from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We had a few beers, waited it out. Finally, they said they're going to play the game. So Simon and I go in, get to our seats, and our seats are great, right between first base and home plate. And we're getting ready to, the game's going to hopefully start. And right in front of me walks my lifelong best friend, Mike. Mike and I had grown up together
in L.A.
With my best friend from Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, okay.
And here we are at Yankee Stadium. Running into each other. So
Amazing.
I'm like, oh my God, Mike, what are you doing here? So
you guys are from Bakersfield,
crazy.
and you bump into him at Yankee Stadium.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And him and I had been to Dodger Stadium together probably 100 times from the time we were in 7th grade to past college. And here we are both at Yankee Stadium for the very first time and don't even know we're there. I'd see Mike at times when I'd be traveling, but this trip I didn't even reach out to him because it was so fast.
Yeah.
So start talking, small world. He had gotten tickets at work and taken the train up. He worked in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and we had a rental car. But we didn't have a place to stay because we were road warriors, and we would just, find a place to stay last minute back then, at different times. So anyway, we went back the game got rained out. We went back. We drove Mike and his wife Elena back to Hoboken, New Jersey, where they live. On the way to Hoboken, we're passing by the Twin Towers, and that's where Mike works. He works on the 104th floor.
Oh boy!
And he says, "You ought to come with me this morning, tomorrow morning, and see the view, because we didn't fly out till early afternoon. So we were going to do that. We were going to go in, go see his view, and then go on to the airport. Well, we get back. We go to the little Irish pub down on the corner, and one beer turns to two, turns to three.
Yeah.
We end up closing the place down because we're talking.
It's an Irish pub, so yeah.
Right, and Mike and Simon are connecting well. We're talking a lot about music, and so we close the place down, and we go back and we keep drinking. Simon and I, we were done with working our rear off, and it was like a weekend for us. But for Mike, he was doing something he'd never done before.
Yeah.
And so the party, so to speak, kept going at Mike's apartment in Hoboken. And we were waking his wife, Elaine, up. She's like, get to bed. You guys are loud. Finally, we get to bed. I wake up the next morning, massive headache. And I hear the shower going. And I think it's Mike, in the shower. And I lay there for a little while. Try to go back to sleep. Door shuts. The person leaves. So I get up, and Simon is asleep on the couch. I'm in the spare bedroom. And I wake Simon up, tell him to get in the shower. And then I turn the TV on, and the tower had just been hit.
Oh, my gosh. And
I open the curtain, look out, and we're right across the Hudson and can see the tower. So I'm like, oh, my God, where's Mike? I think he's gone to work. Well, I'm like, Mike. And he's like, yeah, what? I said, you're here. And he's like, I am here. I hung over, and I didn't go in. I'm like, oh, my God, look at your building's gotten hit. Well, he looks out. He says, no, that's not my building. That's the other building. But, oh, my God.
So he didn't go to work. He always goes to work, and he didn't go to work that day because...
He didn't go to work that day because we drank too much.
Okay, you partied. You partied all night.
Right. He, I guess the binge drinking from Garces High in Bakersfield paid off.
Came back, yeah.
And it was from that point forward, it was unbelievable. And Elena was gone, his wife, and she could have been. She had to take the PATH train into the World Trade Center, and then was going to take that. Then walk from there to where she worked near the Trade Center. But anyway, she came back. She didn't make it that far. She got turned back.
Oh boy! And
she just hugged me, and it was like oh my God, the magnitude of what had just happened was that we kept this chance encounter kept Mike from going to work. 66 people didn't make it that day from his office. I think there were 110 people overall in his office. 82 were there that day. 16 made it out that just went immedately. They had just a very short window to get out. So Simon and I were there for the rest of the week.
You didn't. You couldn't fly out. They shut down all the airports.
They shut down the airport.
So you couldn't leave.
They couldn't leave. We were talking to our corporate travel agent about, renting a car and driving from New Jersey back to Phoenix, and Simon had to get to Portland, Oregon. We were talking about doing that. Some people with our company had done that from the East Coast to get back to the West. But we stayed, and I'll never forget, and it's hard to really put into crystal clear words, just the magnitude of the kindness, strength, support, unity that was shared by all the people there at that time. New York's it's a hard charging, rough place.
Yes.
And we, everyone, nobody had that, everybody was just working together and kind, and it's a feeling that I've never let go of. It was life changing.
Yeah.
And
it was very amazing.
It's quite a story.
I
talked to Mike. I'll talk to Mike later today. I talk to him every year.
You grew up together.
Say that one more time.
You grew up together in Bakersfield. You bump into each other at, was it Yankee Stadium?
And Yankee Stadium.
Ended up saying, how was the day, by the way? You're at his apartment in New Jersey?
Sorry, we're picking up.
That's all right.
The mic's not working very well. Go one more time.
You were at his apartment, and how did the day unfold? You watched the whole day unfold from his apartment?
Yeah, we did. So cell phones weren't working. So people knew that that Simon and I were back there.
Yeah.
So the office, people from the office, my family were trying to get a hold of me. So my phone was dinging. This was 2001 technology. My phone was dinging that I was having messages, but I couldn't get them, and the phone wouldn't ring. So I was just getting dozens of messages. Because that night we had told a few people, like I had told my wife, I told my folks, told people at the office, told some people from Bakersfield that we were going to go into the trade center in the morning and see the view and on our way to the airport. Yeah. So there was that going on. We walked down to the river to the huts and they were ferrying injured people. The downtown Manhattan was just chaos, and they couldn't get fire engines and couldn't get ambulances down there. So they were ferrying people over across the river, and there were ambulances lined up, and they were taking people to New Jersey hospitals from there. You saw people with ashes and soot on their faces. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was just such a horrible time, and it just.
Could you see the Twin Towers? Could you see the Twin Towers from inside the apartment?
Yeah, you could.
And did you see them collapse?
You could see them. You could see them. So we were watching them. We were watching TV. Mike was trying to work the phones to try to talk to people and figure out, what was going on, and because he lost 66 friends and colleagues that day. Yeah. And so the rest of the week was just, a lot of, he was finding a lot of devastating things out. Yeah. And it
amazing.
It just was quite a life-changing situation.
Bob, I would like to talk to you for another hour, but they're already giving me the cutoff notice. I want to go back before. I'll give you one more chance to say something, but here's Bob's book, Shake Yourself Free, and he talks about this in the book. Order the book at all your places. Bob's web address and Instagram on the screen. Bob, we've got to go. I just want to give you a minute. Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to share that we weren't able to get to?
As you can hear overhead, I live right by Luke Air Force Base. So that's the sound of freedom literally going on over us right now. And just, just to be, we live in an amazing country. God bless America. And just, there's so much for us to be thankful for, and so much to be, unified about. And I just thank God every day that Mike's still here, and that I'm still here, and that we're able to tell this story. And God bless America.
I do want to say Bob is in Surprise, Arizona, kind of near Phoenix. How many days over 100 degrees in a row are you now?
It's well over 100 now. I think finally on Sunday it's going to be below 100, but it's been nonstop.
How many days?
108, I think, today.
108 days, my goodness.
100 days.
Our guest is Bob Millsap. I appreciate the time. It's really a moving story. It's probably gets you a little choked up every time you tell it. And it's I've been watching this footage all day, and it gets me choked up. For our viewers, we'll be back with another author right after this, so please don't go anywhere.